It's daytime again, and so we're going to show off what I'm going to say is proper armor, and by that I mean it's sort of designed specifically with that as plates and stuff like that, as opposed to just clothing. Now Gambesons are arguably that, but we'll get onto that later. There is one outfit I have not discussed, but we're going to discuss that at the same time as I discuss all of the ranged weapons. So here we have the stick armor. This was introduced, I think, 0.13 maybe. Basically, I believe the developers got a new graphical artist sort of on board or whatever, or 3D modeler, and this was what he created. And you know what? It's a nice model. It's a nice design. But it's stupid. I mean, why would you cover yourselves in sticks like this ever and hope to achieve anything at all? There's too many gaps. You're going to have to hope that person's going for your upper arm there. I mean, the stick torso arm at least sort of covers a lot of your torso, but it's probably going to be fairly easy to get a sword between those sticks. A good hefty mace or something, it's just going to shatter them. Yeah, it's nicely designed. I'm not going to deny it. If it didn't have the sticks on it, I think it'd be even cooler. But it's just silly, really. Now this armor is craftable only. It's the only way to get hold of it at all. I've paired it up with the stick club, but I all wanted to show off the shield here, which is the wooden shield. And again, that would probably shatter or break apart very quickly. I wouldn't put a lot of hope in those ropes to keep it, or string to keep it together. Everything about this just basically goes, it might stop something once, but then it would break apart and then I'm screwed. I suppose once is maybe enough. We'll pop the shield out because it's the first shield I'm going to show off, and it's alright. I mean, all the arms bleed through that, like that, by the way. And when you block, everyone seems to block like that, no matter which way you're facing, with holding the shield. From the front, it doesn't look too bad, but I mean, it's a bit weird. I'd have to do that to make it look like I'm realistically going to block with this. You would not hold it there at all, ever. It's just silly. That is not how you block anything apart from an overhead blow, potentially. Like I say, I'm a fan of the design of it, but I know it's just stupid. So that's my problem with it. As I say, with the exception obviously of the stick club, which I've already mentioned, all of it is craftable only. You cannot find it, you cannot purchase it. It's all part of the smith skill line, I think, apart from the wooden shield, which is part of the militia line. Now this is the first full suit of armour. This is the iron armour, part of the blacksmith or smith skill line. And it's lovely. I love this armour, it looks great. I mean, the protection on the arms is massively iffy. But besides that, I think it looks fab. I really do. I like this a lot. There's not a lot to complain about with it. I'm not a fan of the kettle helm, and there are other helms you can wear quite nicely with this that sort of set it off very well. That said, it's alright. It looks the job. It looks nice. I think the kettle helmet bleeds a bit with some of the hairstyles people have, but this one seems to have suited very well. You can actually buy the kettle helmet and you can buy the lamellar chest piece, but the other parts you can't. You can, however, buy the iron sword that you can see on my back there. You can't buy the shield. Now, I pair the shield up because I think it just looks like it goes very nicely together. This is the round shield. So, we'll talk about the sword first. The sword looks dumb. It's got a broken piece on it. It looks like it's just knackered, rusty. There's a chunk taken out of it. If you're a smith and you've got iron, you are not making that sword. You're going to make a nice steel or iron sword that's going to look the business. You're not going to make something with a snapped blade on it. And the quality is irrelevant. This is a rare one, so that's irrelevant to it. It's just designed to look a bit shitty and cheap, which the rest of the armour doesn't. It looks good. So I don't get why that is like the base sword you can get. And you can buy that everywhere. Whereas the longsword, which is not in the game apart from being able to buy it from those merchants I spoke about, is lovely and would suit this down to a T. The shield is, well, as you can see, the arm's bleeding through and everything a lot, and he holds it strangely. Depending on the angle you look at, it looks alright or looks dumb how he's holding it. It's fine, it looks nice. It was really black before, and there's like, let's put a little bit of extra detailing in the latest update, or something was wrong with my graphical settings. That said, there is an issue that you can only craft a round shield. Even if you try and craft a kite shield, currently the recipe doesn't work and you craft another round shield. So hopefully they'll fix that soon, because kite shields look cool. Most of the round one doesn't look too bad either. I love this suit of armour. I think it's great, and gives a fair amount of protection. So let's look at the next on the list. So this is the chainmail armour. I have paired it up with a nasal helm, which is not necessarily what you meant to do, but I think it works quite well. And the taper warsword. The chainmail armour looks great. I love it. I think it looks awesome. The gloves, the chainmail top, the trousers, the feet. This is what chainmail should look like. It would cover you head to toe in this sense, and it would just do the job that you are hoping for. Now, the only issue I have at all is that there is no chainmail coif in the game. You would have one that basically splays out onto your shoulders and covers most of your head apart from your face. And there isn't one. I don't know why that oversight has been put in the game when they've got coifs of other descriptions. And other armours actually have instances of the coif being present, so it's a bit of a strange one. The helmet, I mean, this is a sort of bandit helmet, but you can buy them from smiths. You cannot craft these, by the way. You can also find them on certain higher level bandits. They'll drop them. But it's sort of a Norman look to it. If you could get these without the face bandana thing, I think they'd look even cooler. But I like it. It just sort of works quite nicely, I thought. On my back, I am carrying the taper warsword, which is, in my opinion, the single greatest sword in the game. It does a crap ton of damage. It's single-handed. It's fast. It looks nice. I just like this sword a lot. So it's not a surprise that I paired it up with this armour, which I also like a lot. It's easy. It's quite high up on the list, to learn, but it's easy to craft. It's dependable, it's reliable, it's sturdy. It's just an arming sword at the end of the day, but it just looks nice. I like it. I think it's great. It's right up there with the longsword in its appearance, look stake, but it's just easier to get a really good one as well. So we're going to have to go inside for the next part of the chainmail, I think, because it's getting dark. So here is the chainmail tabard, and it looks really nice again. It's pretty much the same as the chainmail chainmail shirt that we had before, and it is a chainmail shirt. It just has a tabard over the top. I don't get too worried about the fact that this one, as I mentioned before about the tabard, looks like you're wearing armour underneath, because you are. I've paired it up with the Barbute helmet, and it's a weird helmet. It does look quite nice with this. It works, but as you can see, it's a bit iffy. It's sort of off to one side slightly. Everything's a bit over to the right, which is odd and looks a bit silly. And my ear bleeds through it as well. Beyond that, though, I think it looks like the business, and it sort of suits this as like a low-leveled knight kind of look or something like that. The barb you can find on bandits, you can purchase as well. The tabard itself is only craftable as part of the militia skill line, The Claymore, as you can see here, and you can't really see it so I had to draw it, is a beastly looking weapon. I thought it sort of went with a knightly look. I like the design of it. It looks a bit possibly too big. I'm not sure about the actual size of a Claymore, but I didn't think Claymores were, maybe they are this big. I don't like the, we'll put this on the back so we can see that part, the sort of twee bits on the end of the guards. They look a bit silly, but that's just personal preference. It's a sort of pretty sturdy looking weapon, but as you see, when I pull it out, at least I'm attempting to look like I'm holding it two-handed, and it is one of the few weapons that you do swing slightly differently because it's two-handed, like that. But besides that, yeah, it's a bit weird. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it looks better than the flamberge, but it's a bit strange, and they need to probably figure out its animation, etc. Pretty nice looking sort of base level knight outfit though, I think, this one. Claymore is only craftable as part of the militia skill line. Want to be a weird looking Templar knight? Well, here's your outfit. So this basically is the tabard, heavy tabard armour with the horned helmet. I'm wearing silver gauntlets and silver greaves. So there are the greaves there, which look rather cool. The silver armour is awesome. We're going to go into that later. Basically, it looks exactly like this. The helmet is different and it doesn't have a tabard. I don't mind this outfit at all. It looks lovely, and everyone seems to want to wear this because everyone wants to be some sort of Templar or Knight kind of person in that sense. I'm not a fan of the helmet. The horns look stupid in my opinion, but the detailing on it is lovely. Forget the flamberge, we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, it's nice. It's craftable only, all of it. Every single piece of this you have to craft. And I believe the tabard, armour and the helmet is part of the militia, and the rest of it is all part of the smith. So let's talk about the flamberge. You know what, let's not. Just want to remember one thing. I said about the bandit's great helm. Well, that's sort of the bandit's great helm underneath there. If you took all of that cloth off and everything, made it a bit dirtier looking, and then sort of had it jutting out a bit more at the bottom, so instead of being straight at the sides, it sort of veneers out a little. That's sort of what the great helm looked like, which is why I thought it was quite a nice helmet. Anyway, the flamberge. What the hell has happened to this sword? I'm sure it didn't used to be this awful. Look at it. Pop, 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 pop. It looks like the Soul Reaver. And don't get me wrong, I love Soul Reavers in the game, but the sword was always shit. Why is it black? What's going on with the blade? What? Is the handle big enough for it? I'm pretty sure that handle probably needs to be a little bit longer. It's just garbage. I mean, it's a real sword, don't get me wrong. I mean, flamberge is a real sword. This isn't. This is just stupid. It gets so far and you notice that it loses its wiggle, and then you come back around and it gains it back. It's just, I don't know why. I'm sure this sword was fine at one point. If you draw it, rest at every shoulder, similar to the claymore. But then as you spin around, it starts to do this weird there. It loses its coherency suddenly and pops back in and pops out, and it's just strange. It looks odd. I'm not a fan of it. It is the most powerful weapon in the game, which is why everyone wields one, but it just looks crap. I don't touch them with a barge pole. You can only craft it as part of the militia skill line. I do like the look of this guy in a sense. He does look pretty awesome. But he's not my favourite, because my favourite's up next. This is the coolest armour in the game. It looks amazing. This is what I meant about there being a coif as well. You can see the makings of a chainmail coif there at the top. The actual helmet, whoa, that looks so awesome. It really, really does. The armour is so well detailed. It looks great. Obviously the gloves and the legs, I'm still wearing the same ones I was wearing before, but the chest plate is different obviously, and so is the helmet. All of this is silver armour in the blacksmith line. However, you can find that helmet on bandits and buy them from blacksmiths. So that's not that rare, but awesome nonetheless. I absolutely love this outfit. It looks cool. So I thought it's only fitting with this cool outfit that I had the relic in my hand. This is the relic, and it took me ages to find this because it just wasn't spawning on my server, and then just randomly one day it did, and I literally looked at the place where it spawned I don't know how many times. It's really nicely designed, simple but nicely designed, just a simple arming sword really, but looks cool. I don't know if you can repair it, I'm not sure if you can. It has a really low durability when I found it. I think the damage is a little bit less than say the taper warsword, but it looks lovely. Come on, just looks awesome. I have to say it really does, and it suits this sort of character so well. I do love it, I really do. So daytime has come upon us, and this is the last variation, the Crusader helmet here. Not a big fan of this myself, don't like the look of it, the styling of it, the flat helm sort of style. Preferred the barbute, the visor barbute before. And it's sort of a bit weirdly off kilter on the left there, if you can see. It's alright. I mean, if they fix that, it'd be even better. But yeah, it's okay. I wouldn't write home about this. It's sort of the highest level helmet you could get, and I think it is the best helmet that you can get in the game, but I'm just not a massive fan of it. It's alright, as I say. You can only craft it, can't find it, can't buy it. So yeah, there we have the German Warhammer. There used to be an English Warhammer in the game. Again, it's been removed as far as I know. It doesn't feel finished. You know why it's so black? I mean, it is a Warhammer by all intents and purposes, and forgetting the little twisty design, which seems a bit of an odd thing, it is exactly what it says on the tin. Warhammer, designed to smash through armour, probably the best weapon in the game, or should be, for taking anyone in plate armour. That pick on the end is going to do some nasty damage, and of course it's a blunt weapon that's going to be able to smash into the armour and cause some sort of trauma, at least on the inside. But this game obviously doesn't look at such things, because swords could slice through plate armour just as easily as this thing could. I don't like the look of it, as in the blackness of it all, but it's a Warhammer, and Warhammers are great. I did have some issues that when I would do a swing with this towards someone's head, it would typically miss, whereas the same swing, same height and everything with a sword would usually hit. So I don't know if there's a hitbox issue with this. The Warhammer can only be crafted. That's the only way for you to get it, and it is part of the militia skill line, I believe. So that's it. That's all the armours. There is one weapon I haven't demoed out, and I will do that next with a new set of clothing, and that should be it. But I'm also going to use that same set of clothing to show off the ranged weapons. This is the Archer's hat and Archer's tunic. I saved it to last because I'm going to show off all the ranged weapons together now. What I have done though quickly is paired it up with the halberd, or iron spear. Let's quickly talk about the outfit. Yeah, it's fine. It's got a little coif there. It's got a little sort of Robin Hood kind of hat. The outfit itself looks absolutely fine. I've paired it up with the leather trousers, which it works quite nicely with in my personal opinion, but you could probably view it with anything you wanted to in that sense. I did try it with the leather gloves on, and they don't really work with this too well. The fingerless gloves might work alright, I guess, but the leather gloves not so much. I like this outfit, it's nice. It even has rope around it, which actually you need to craft it. Both of them are part of the hunter skill line. And none of them are particularly difficult to craft either. If you wanted to go for sort of a gamekeeper kind of a look, this would be a good look for it. Or maybe like a standing archery militia maybe for a town. So let's look at that bloody thing on the back. Ugh. Ugh. Horrid. So it's held in one hand, which is, well, bollocks. And swung as though it's a one-handed weapon or an actual spear. But they're claiming it's a halberd. Halberds are big two-handed things. It doesn't really even look specifically like a halberd in my opinion. But we'll let that off just at the minute. There's so much to not like about this, from how shiny it is, to the length of it, to the fact it's not two-handed. Damage wise is impressive. It's about the equivalent of, say, a claymore. But I just don't like this. It looks almost a bit fantastical. It looks a little bit as well like sort of Naginata-ish or something like that. It's, yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. I'd like them to redesign this to look more like a traditional halberd. That's personal opinion. People may go, no, it looks fine. It looks like a halberd. I just don't think it does. And the fact they've called it Iron Spear, well, what's that massive weight on the end? I'm just not a fan of it. I'm really not. Let's get rid of this and let's get out the range weapons. So we're going to start with the bows, and we'll start with the basic bow, the stick bow. And here is the stick bow. Oh my god. What were they thinking? What were they actually thinking? If you pulled the string on this, it would snap. It would just simply snap. Or there wouldn't be enough tension in the string to actually make the bow twang. It's ridiculous. It is actually ridiculous. They've kind of redone the design of how you hold it, so it's not too bad. To fire an arrow now, you have to pull it by pressing the right mouse button. As you can see, I've notched an arrow, or one as you see, I haven't notched an arrow, and it's also stuck to my hand, but let's forget that. And if I aim, what's going on here? Forget that as well. And what we'll do instead is we'll fire an arrow, but what we're going to do is we're going to drop the string first, and we're going to remove it so I can't spin the camera around myself. So we're actually doing how you would actually aim in the game. There would be a target, but I've obviously turned off the HUD. So there'd be an actual reticule, and then we use the other, so there's still no sound to when you fire it. I also like to say that now I've fired one, if I remove the bow from my hands and place it back on my back, the string's gone a bit. So basically, I don't know how that arrow fired, because I'm assuming the string is made basically out of a wire coat hanger, which is probably why it's not snapped, because that metal is actually supporting the rest of the bow. It's a stupid bow. It really is. I mean, don't get me wrong, the archery in this game sucks absolute. It's not good. I need sorting out. But that design is terrible. So let's look at the next one. We have a flat bow. And you know what? The flat bow is fine. It looks nice. I don't really have any problems. It's probably a little bit too clean looking. And that grip probably needs to be a bit bigger. But I like it. I do like it. No problems at all with that flat bow. Not sure why I swung my hands like that. Probably because I didn't do that. There we go. So the flat bow is drawn. He's holding it sort of right. Let's just take one shot before we head indoors. Pull. And fire. Boom. There you have it. Same issue though. Put the bow away, and we have a weird issue with the string going through my guy's head and lobotomizing him. Other than that, yeah, I don't mind that bow in the slightest. Let's head indoors and look at the last one. So last up we have the recurve bow. It's a bit possibly too fancy looking. And where the actual grip is, not sure about that. It's not terrible. Just not really, yeah, it's alright. I'm probably being nitpicky with this. Yeah, I don't really have any issues with it. It's okay. It is literally okay. Not sure the top and the bottom are the right size, but that could just be a perspective thing. But that's the best bow you can get. I don't know the actual differences between bows because I don't know if it's the bow or the ammo that causes the damage. So I don't know if it's the arrow or the bow itself. Never really have done. There's a lot to sort of be desired in archery in this game anyway. So yeah, I think the flat bow is probably the better one, but the recurve bow here is alright. All of the bows are craftable only. You cannot find them anywhere. And they're all part of the hunter skill line. So next up, crossbows. So we have a crossbow, the stick crossbow. And it's a bunch of sticks strapped together with a bit of yeah, no, that would just snap as well. Considering the sort of resistance required in a crossbow to actually fire a bolt anywhere. To mention, where's that bolt actually hook onto? Is it meant to be that thing there sticking out? You're trying to tell me you can pull that all the way back to there and that tiny little bit sticking out is not going to just snap? It's a bunch of twigs strapped together. You can't just strap a bunch of twigs together and make a crossbow. There's a reason these were feats of engineering. And what am I doing with it? Okay, appears that I'm actually Wolverine and it just comes out of my hand. That's not how you would hold any. Anyway, let's draw it up, and I don't think I've actually drawn a crossbow. Not since 0.12. So let's have a look. I present you the weapon I am going to shoot you with. And then I also might follow up with a punch afterwards, looking like what? So for Christmas I was going to get a watch, but I got a crossbow. No! How? Alright then, that's impressive. I'm not going to actually hold it, I'm just going to wear it. That's the stick bow. It is only craftable, but don't craft it. Stick crossbow, so because it's stupid, it's part of the bandit skill line. Let's look at the heavy crossbow, shall we? Now the heavy crossbow actually looks like a crossbow, and it looks like it would do the job it is meant to do, and I quite like it. I think it looks pretty nice, if I'm perfectly honest. Got no problems with it whatsoever. Not too difficult to craft. Looks good. Bandit skill line. Craftable only. But we apparently... Oh my god, it looks even worse. So I have this bow and someone stuck it to my hand. Don't know what to do about that. This could be just a... What's going on with his arm? This could just be a warning to the dangers of crossbows. If you don't respect them, they will just become embedded in your hand. Although the bolt actually did come out of the crossbow though, but not the direction that the crossbow is actually facing. Okay, it's a bit of a weird one to end on, but that is the heavy crossbow. So that's it. As far as I know, that is every weapon and item, weapon, clothing and armour in the game currently. There were many weapons that have been taken out, and I don't believe you can still get them. There are no real console commands to just give you weapons as far as I know. So everything I've done here, I either had to buy it, find it, or make it. And there's no shortcuts really to doing that. So yeah, it's been a long, arduous journey, and hopefully what this has done is maybe showed off what some of the characters can look like in the Black Death, or how you might be able to combo some of them up. You know, you can wear a plate helmet with chainmail armor, or you could wear chainmail trousers with a just sort of normal looking top like this. And yeah, there's just a nice variation of things that you could kind of wear to make your character look pretty cool. Hopefully it's been insightful. I may do another one if they add more weapons in or make them better, but this was a long one, and it basically was sparked from a person saying, can I look like a knight? Well, now you know. With all the different things that you can wear, you can pretty much look like a lot of things in this game. There's a lot of work to be done still, but I'll give them this. They're heading in the right direction, at least generally speaking, on the aesthetics. The game needs more weapons. Some of them need refining a hell of a lot, and it still really needs a lot more outfits. I do know for a fact female outfits are finally coming. Well done to the developers for that. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and until the next video, as always, Gamerbug out.